Hi, I watched Cupid's Last Wish, and here's my review. Corn and Win, childhood and best friends, face conflict one day when Win's father dies and Corn receives a share of the said farm. They end up parting ways because of this conflict and get to meet each other again one day after Win and Lin, his sister, get into a car accident when Win finds himself stuck into the body of his sister. A new drama from Earth and Mix after they played in A Tale of Thousand Stars that I really enjoyed. It is one of my top dramas and for sure, and my top dramas from Thailand as well. Very excited about this project when I heard about it. Not so excited anymore after I watched the trailer because it was marketed as a BL. And from the trailer, I couldn't really understand how the BL was going to be able to happen if Win was going to be in his sister's body. But if you haven't watched it, I absolutely recommend it to you. It is completely possible, and I think it is also very well done in the sense that it is very BL. You never question anything like this during the drama, but they still have the actress, Lin, Win's sister, very present as well still, because it is her body after all, and I think they did a good mix of everything. Again, I think the acting is very good in this drama. Mix really impresses me again, and also Earth, because before A Tale of Thousand Stars I didn't really like him. Well, I had only seen him once as a support character, I think, and I wasn't too sure, but A Tale of Thousand Stars, hands down, it was very good, so I started liking him as well. And again, it's the case in this drama. I think they have such a superb chemistry together, they act together so well. So really shout out to this and actually everyone, because I think everyone's pretty good as well. I think it's a very solid story, even though it is pretty simple, one could say. It's pretty solid still. The plot is pretty interesting, and I like to see the development of every character and how and why they develop. Big plus for me that is not necessarily going to be a plus for everyone is that, just like A Tale of Thousand Stars, Earth and Mix in this drama stay in the countryside, so they don't really go in any city. The drama mostly takes place in nature, which for me is a very big plus. I really love this. I really prefer watching a drama in the countryside, in the wild, in nature, rather than always being stuck in a city, and most of the time as well being in a rich area. So since we get so little of these kind of dramas in these settings, it's a very big plus for me, and I really enjoy it a lot. Anyway, if you haven't watched this drama, I absolutely recommend it to you. I spent very good time in front of this drama, and yeah, I wish everyone can spend a very good time as well watching it. First thing I want to address in this spoil part is Win. I think Win is a very flawed character from the very beginning. He has clearly some anger issues, I think, and he's kind of the type of person who pays everything and kind of all his beliefs on what he thinks. He doesn't necessarily try to go seek answers. He does want the answers, but he doesn't go for it, and he just keeps on keeping his own answers from what he thinks they are. So really, from the get-go, is a character that you don't necessarily appreciate. I mean, he does treat Korn in a very bad way for someone who is his best friend and also a childhood friend who he spent a lot of time with. It's a bit surprising. But you know, he's a flawed character, it's okay, everyone can have flaws. And then again later on, when he really doesn't want even to hear about Korn's name anymore, and he really treats his mother and his sister really bad. So of course I am in no way, shape or form defending this kind of behavior. I am not. But I think this kind of behavior is okay to be shown if it's not kind of glorified or romanticized, showed as something good, which isn't the case in this drama, because throughout the drama he gets to learn, he gets to grow. He still remains a bit moody and, how could I say this, kind of easy to make angry. But it's still a trait, and at the end of the day, if he knows what his problem is, and, he can grow from it and learn even more, and, he doesn't stay stuck in this kind of attitude, and he is able to say sorry, to apologize, and make things right again. So that's what I like about this character. It's that he really starts in a very, very bad place, and he goes on this long journey to... Actually, I think it's the point of this journey is to actually make him realize what he's doing wrong. It's not... The goal is to get these bottles of water, of holy water, to be able to swap bodies with his sister again. But clearly, the journey he has to make to get these is just as much as a cure as the water is, but on a different level. The water is there to cure his body, to make him go back to his own body, but the journey is there to cure his mind, to cure his spirit, and make him realize everything he's been doing wrong all along. Now a bit onto the body swapping theme. Body swapping is a theme that I kind of like. Actually, it's a genre that I like to indulge in, I'm not gonna lie. But of course I prefer it if it's well done. And I think it's the case in this drama. They address a few things without being too, not serious, but they don't go too deep into things, but they still manage to bring something to the table, in my opinion. And although I think it's a shame, because I think it's a drama that's going to be mostly, vastly seen by women, I presume. While I think it's a shame because of this, I really, really like the portrayal they do of periods in this drama, and I think men should see this too, not just women. So it's a bit of a shame on this part. If they continue on like this with body swapping, it might become a cliche, the guy getting the period at the moment he's swapping body with the girl. So with time, I think it could become a cliche, but right now it's something that I really, really enjoy, and I always want them to go through so much pain, which they do in this drama. He's not all flowers and dancing and everything's fine, but at the same time, he's not overly in pain and kind of almost dying on the floor because of so much pain, which is a pain that exists. It's a pain that I had before. And yeah, also showing Korn, getting all the stuffs for, well, not his girlfriend in this case, but for, it could be a family member, anyone. So this is something I really like, and they show, I think, good techniques, because I think this hot water bottle is a very good technique. If the pain is not too terrible, the water bottle works really fine. And it gets a peel as well. I think it's a special one for periods, I think they say. And they show all these kind of periods product. I don't know how you say it in English, but all these pads, I think, they show it that there's different types and it's difficult which one should I take. Also, and while I would actually like to say that it is very stereotypical though, to make the person on her period being a lot more moody, at least. During the periods, while I was watching it, I just couldn't help but agree. Not all the time, but I think it happened to every woman who had periods before, that sometimes on some periods you're just very kind of cranky, really not in the mood. And not necessarily that you're looking for problems and troubles with others. It's not like you're looking for a fight. It's more like, from what I personally experience, is more like a general fatigue, a general boredom. Like you have no patience for anything, and just one little thing getting in your way is gonna wear this patience so quickly, and just like this it can escalate. I think it's like this that I see it, and that's how I saw it in this drama. Also, very good thing that I actually never saw, I think, it's how he starts crying because of the overwhelming emotions at this moment, and it's because his hormones are all over the place, going up and down, and so he just starts crying for something that he would have never cried for in the first place. And I think it's also something very representative of how you can feel sometimes on your periods. Some periods you can feel just fine, and some periods sometimes I feel like I want to cry every day and anything can make me cry, really anything. Sometimes it's a combo of everything, and this is deadly. So while I would like to say that it's too cliche, it's too overdone, I think it's done in a good way in this drama, and not too much, just not too much. They do the decent amount to not be just a comedy, but really to show something. So I like this. I think overall the only thing that I didn't really like in this body swapping, and it's not that I didn't like, it's something that I found, I think, just a bit weird, is that it's with his sister. For her, well, she wakes up and she doesn't have to do anything. She isn't in the body of her brother for a long time, so she doesn't have to see or do anything. But for him, it's completely different. He spends a week in this body, and so my imagination went a bit wide. Like, he had to see everything, take a shower, and when he had his period, when he would go on the toilet, just, you would have to see everything. And thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want to see all that of my brother, you know? So I think maybe it's the only part that's a bit disturbing, if I could say. But really, I really like how they did it. I think it's very well done. Now on to Korn and the relationship between him and Win. I think the biggest problem I have with this is just the lack of communication, because basically everything could have been resolved very easily. From Win's part, of course I understand it, because it's from his flaw, it's from who he is. He's really not open to communication at all, especially at the beginning. So from his part, I'm okay, even though it's not an okay thing to do. I understand. It makes sense. But from Korn's point of view, I don't really get it. I don't really understand why he never opens his mouth as to why he has this share. A lot of times, Win asks him why. And sometimes you would have these huge moments where no one would say anything, and Korn could have all the time in the world to explain why he has this. But it never happens, and it's a thing we saw a lot in Dramaland, and it's a thing I really don't understand. Like, they want to explain, they be like, I can explain. And when the other person stops yelling at them or throwing a fit and stop talking just to let them talk, they don't. Like, you say you want to explain, so say it now that you can. So I think it's the only real problem I have in this drama. My second problem, and it's very tiny, and I think I wasn't the only one bothered by this while watching the drama, is how Korn almost gets to drown in this cave. Like, it wouldn't be very much of a big deal if it hadn't been explained beforehand that I think every week he goes to the swimming pool to swim. So if you go every week, you know how to swim, and okay, you were surprised the water was going way deeper than you thought, so you fell in it. But if you're a swimmer, you're not going to have trouble going back up. So I think maybe they should have given him, I don't know, maybe don't say that he goes to the swimming pool every week. And second, maybe give him a cramp. This way, you know, he can really sink to the bottom because he has this terrible cramp, you know. Maybe they should do this, and yeah, it's just a tiny detail, but it really did bother me a lot towards the end of the drama when it happened. Anyway, now onto their relationship a bit more. So basically, I really like the relationship they have. Of course, when Win is being very moody and very mad with him, their relationship is not ideal. But from what they grow from this, and how Korn is actually very, I would say, supportive, and you just see it from how he acts and how he talks to him, that he really, really cares so much about Win. So I really like it, and quickly enough, you realize as well that Win just likes him just as much as Korn does, and while he's mad, It's also the fact of being mad with him that makes him sad, if it's understandable. It's not just because he got a bit of the share. And that's something he gets to realize as well, that the time when Korn was not there and he was mad at him, it was the worst time for him. Because he just couldn't stop thinking about him all the time and thinking that they were not friends anymore. So, from this, I really, really like it a lot. Even if the romance isn't developed that nicely, I would say, at least in my opinion, it doesn't take away from all the other development we have in the story, in their relationship, just as going back to being friends and being in good terms. This is really, really well done. So, okay, it can't be perfect. But anyway, this is everything I have to say about this drama. I don't want to ramble too long about it. But yeah, this is a drama I absolutely recommend if you haven't watched it. It's really nice, it's pretty funny as well. And while some people could really, really despise Win at the beginning, like I did, I think the drama does a good job at showing good growth of character. So it's very, very nice to see, and it gives as well, I think, good lessons, life lessons. So I would completely recommend you to watch it if you haven't. And yeah, don't hesitate to tell me your thoughts about this drama, if you've watched it, if you liked it. If you didn't, don't hesitate to explain me why, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!